try to do some videos in this format, and I really wanted to talk about so many things, and I don't know how to kind of make them in a simplistic format. I want to talk about architecture and alchemy, and I want to talk about many things that most people need to understand. And a lot of us, sometimes people ask me questions. Why do I speak in cryptic format? And the cryptic format isn't really cryptic format. I've already given everybody all their answers that they need. When it comes to dealing with temporary situations, I've already given you your answers. But the fact that you can't see them means that we're in a different space. That's not bad or it's not good. But what it is I've already given you all your answers. I told you what to do if you have child support, told you what to do if these things are going. But you have to understand architecture. You have to understand alchemy. And you have to understand who you are in this grand scheme of things. Most people don't understand what and who they are because they don't take time to learn it. That's why you have distractions like jobs. You have distractions like the news. You have distractions like all of these. These things are created to trick you into a lower frequency. Everything operates on frequency. Everything operates on energy. And what most people don't understand is when I'm talking to you, I'm giving you your answer. You just can't see it. The reason why you can't see it is you want someone to just do things for you. You want someone to give you information. You believe that you're worthy of this information, but you're not worthy of the effort that it takes to seek the answer. I remember when I asked questions and I'd be like, help me, help me, help me. And no one would help me. And if somebody said they would help me, it'd be like $400 an hour or a crazy number where I was like, dude, really? But I was happy that these barriers exist because they pushed me to look to the true person that was going to save myself, which was me. We're all going through experiences, and my experience and your experience are two different experiences. We can't experience the same things because we're two different entities. So now what I wanted to talk about is architecture. And, I have a great history in architecture. I've been, I was supposed to be doing architecture for major corporations when I was younger, but I didn't, it wasn't my path. But you have to understand architecture, meaning building, architecture. Just if you look up the term architecture, it's going to mean building. Now, what building means, it doesn't mean the physical aspect of a building. It means the construction of an idea. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to look within yourself and see where your ideas are. You have to go back to the inner child. I mean, how are you going to be an adult if you negate the inner child? As beings, we're told that we have to grow up. So growing up makes us neglect the inner child. The inner child used to ask questions. How, when, where? How, when, where? Until it made sense for the inner child. The inner child had all the answers, but the inner child didn't have the ability to process the information. So when I tell people you have to look within yourself, most people are like, oh, you're trying to use that that crap that, no, you're not telling us the answers. No, I am telling you the answer. How you gonna, how you gonna have a remedy on anything if you don't know yourself? If you don't know what you can withstand, how you gonna have a remedy? You can't. So a majority of people want a short-term fix for permanent problems, and a majority of people want someone to fix their problems for them. That doesn't work. You have to find your remedy within yourself. Whatever remedy it is, it has to come from you. A lot of times, people, you just want someone to lift you up. But how are you going to know who's going to lift you up or who's not if you have no knowledge of who you should trust and who you shouldn't? Everything in life is an experience. We're all drifting through this planet. We're a myriad of experiences. So, since people want answers, you have to understand that you're the architect of your life. Whatever you dream, whatever you think you can build it. But a lot of people don't want to build their own destiny. You want to take someone else's destiny and try to reformat it into your ideology. And that's not it. We're all individuals. It doesn't mean that we don't get influence from other people, because I've been influenced by other people. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. Most humans learn from other people's actions. But I always want my own path. I don't want to carve a path that somebody else's path carved. Because when I carve my own path, that's my own shit. Nobody can take that from me. You can't take what I built. So let me get to really what I wanted to talk about, which is architecture and alchemy, and the understanding of sciences and how everything is a science, from science of money, science of women, science of man, science of child, science of animals, science of everything. Everything is a science. And until you understand that everything is a science, you won't understand what I'm saying. So what I'm saying to you is nothing. So if you're going to be a scientist, you have to understand how things operate. Variables, consistence, testing, trying things out, failing, succeeding. Now, in modern day culture, if you see what's going on, you can see that everybody wants us to trust scientists. But when it comes down to, are they really scientists? The answer is no, they're not. They don't have any knowledge of anything. That's if I brought a lawyer in court, I have more court experience and more knowledge than most lawyers. And I'm not even a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But most of the people, they want you to trust these scientists. Everybody wants you to trust somebody outside of yourself. And until you see what makes common sense to yourself, you're not going to understand that you should not just trust other people. You should always trust your instinct. People do everything in their power to take you from your internal knowledge, your internal frequency. And I don't. I want to push you back to it. Go back to your childhood. Go back to visiting those events that caused you to doubt yourself. Go back to those events. And then when you go back to them, you approach them from an out-of-body experience. So now you can look at them in a different light. The problem is most of us have not dealt with our problems. We ran from them. We keep running and then we never develop who we are. So until you deal with who you are or what makes you doubt yourself, life is not going to be as simple as you think it's going to be. Now, if you want remedies to discharging debt, you want all of that, it's all within you. It's all in your DNA. All of the failures you've been through, all of this court cases and all of that, that's all in you. I can't teach you that. You have to teach yourself what's real. If I was the person that used to ask people stuff and they would just say, "Nah, I can't help you," by them doing that, that is actually them helping me, saying, "Hey, force him back to himself." You have to understand the cosmic energy in the universe and your place in the universe before you can get any remedy. How you gonna get a remedy if you don't know who you are? How you gonna live if you're afraid to die? Once I lost my fear of death, nobody can control me. Nobody at all can control me. You can't kill a man who has no fear of death. You can kill a man who's afraid to die every day. Meaning through anything. Meaning doubt, fear. A person who is afraid to die is easy to control. A person who has no fear of death, how can you control a free stallion? How can you control a free lion? The only way you can control them is if you attempt to pin them down. The information that I want to give you is it's too powerful. It's too powerful because I can easily teach you how to crumble societies, but I have to understand that I have a personal responsibility myself. The one thing that you have to understand is you are the architect of your life. You can't get into trouble, get into a situation, and then look for other people to get you out of it. You can't do that. You created the situation, so you should learn how to get yourself out of it. Now, I remember when I had a traffic ticket and I tried to go into court and the judge was like, "Nope, nope, nope. We're going to run this court with or without you." And I stood on my square, formed a trust, locked the judge in. The judge was infuriated with me because he didn't figure, he thought, this idiot, how could he figure out the legal system? He's an idiot. How does this dude know this? So once I figured it out, my documentation, I copied documentation from someone else, but then I researched it and then I amended it to make it to the truth that was in my situation. Well, the judge was afraid. The prosecutor was afraid. Everybody was afraid. Because when you start standing up to what for what you believe in, you become all powerful. I ain't talking about all this bullshit Black Lives Matter garbage. That shit's trash. And it's all orchestrated. But what I'm talking about is when you ascend to your higher self, all these bottom feeding ass, lower self ass people, they're not going to want to be around you. And you can't change that. I mean, when you ascend to where you need to be, things don't matter no more. You know, the things that you thought mattered, they don't matter. We worship so much temporary stuff, so many celebrities and so many things, and none of this will be here. Once I dealt with these beasts that people call them, but they're really not beasts. They're not evil people. They're all things that you have to deal with. That's when I knew I had the ability to jump out of my body and feel, once I had the ability to jump outside of my body and not feel anything, I was like, oh, shit. This is why when I was young, I didn't feel like I felt it. I didn't fit in. Once you understand the higher self, your threshold from pain, it changes. Everything changes. You become the architect, and you're no longer the submissive servant. This is why when I tell you that when the student is ready, the master will appear, you always have to be a great student. Don't be arrogant. Be a great student. The problem with a lot of people is you always want to be the master, but you never want to be the student. And being a student takes some form of humility, not in the format of being humble. It takes a format of just being able to listen, process information, go on your own researches, and come back with your own information. You have to understand some of the greatest minds are people who are probably either the most withdrawn or the people who are not afraid of what society feels. Society forms you in this, they put you in this cage and they want you to think as they do and don't disrupt the status quo. As we see, in modern day culture with the slave muzzles, i.e. the masks. We live in a culture where people who can't control themselves want to control everyone. And this should let people know their power. You're the architect of whatever you believe. And whatever you accept is your agreement. Society operates by contracts, whether they're implied or not implied. So I just want some of y'all to understand that you are the alchemist. You're the architect of your success. Any formula or any concoction you create is literally what you wanted to convey to the world. This is why you're distracted by jobs, drugs, alcohol, everything, because nobody wants you to ascend to being who and what you can be. And once you understand your place in this universe, things don't mean as much.